Page 98, Coloring Outside the Lines. Our art room is blooming like a museum full of O'Keeffes, Van Goghs, and that French guy who painted flowers with tiny dots. Mr. Freeman is the vogue teacher of the moment. There are rumors that he'll be Teacher of the Year in the yearbook. His room is cool, central. He keeps the radio on. We are allowed to eat as long as we work. He bounced a couple of slackers who confused freedom with no rules, so the rest of us don't make waves. It's too much fun to give up. The room is full of painters, sculptors, and sketchers during activity period, and some kids stay there until the late buses are ready to roll. Mr. Freeman's painting is coming along great. Some newspaper guy heard about it and wrote an article. The article claimed Mr. Freeman is a gifted genius who has devoted his life to education. A color picture of the work in progress accompanied the article. Someone said a few school board members recognized themselves. I bet they sue him. I wish Mr. Freeman would put a tree in his masterpiece. I can't figure out how to make mine look real. I've already ruined 6 linoleum blocks. I can see it in my head, a strong old oak tree with a wide, scarred trunk and thousands of leaves reaching into the sun. There's a tree in front of my house just like it. Feel the wind blow and hear the mockingbird whistling on the way back to her nest. But when I try to carve it, it just looks like a dead tree. Toothpicks. A child's drawing. I can't bring it to life. I'd love to give it up, quit. But I can't think of anything else to do. So I keep chipping away at it. Principal stormed in yesterday, smelling pleasure. His mustache moved up and down, a radar sweep for all things unruly. An unseen hand turned off the radio as he crossed the threshold, and a bag of potato chips vanished, leaving the faint scent of salt to mix with the vermilion oil paint and wet clay. He scanned the room for merriment, found only bowed heads, graceful pencils, dipping brushes. Mr. Freeman touched up the dark roots on the head of a lady school board member and asked if Principal needed help. Principal stalked out of the room in the direction of Human Waste's smoking haven. Maybe I'll be an artist if I grow up. Heather left a note in my locker, begging me to go to her house after school. She's in trouble. She's not meeting Martha standards. She sobs out the story in her room. I listen and pick lint balls off my sweater. The Marthas held a craft meeting to make Valentine's pillows for the little kids who are in the hospital. Meg and Emily sewed 3 sides of the pillow, while the others stuffed, stitched, and glued on hearts and teddy bears. Heather was in charge of hearts. She was all flustered because a few Marthas didn't like her outfit. They yelled at her for gluing hearts crooked. Then the top of her glue puddle came off and completely ruined a pillow. At this point in the story, she throws a doll across the room. I move the nail polish out of reach. Meg demoted Heather to pillow stuffing. Once the pillow production line was again rolling smoothly, the meeting began. Topic: the canned food drive. The senior Marthas are in charge of delivering the food to the needy, with a newspaper photographer present, and needing the principal to coordinate whatever needs coordinating. I zone out. She talks about who's in charge of classroom captains and who's in charge of publicity, and I don't know what all. I don't come back to earth until Heather says, I knew you wouldn't mind, Mel. Me? What? Heather. I knew you wouldn't mind helping. I think Emily did it on purpose. She doesn't like me. going to ask you to help, then say I did it by myself, but that would have been lying. And besides, they would have stuck me with all the poster work for the rest of the year. So I said, I have a friend who is really artistic and community oriented. And could she help with the posters? Me. Who? Heather, laughing now, but still holding on to the nail polish. You silly! You draw better than me, and you have plenty of time. Please say you'll do it. Maybe they'll ask you to join too. Once they see how talented you are, please, please, whipped cream, chopped nuts, and cherry on top, please. If I screw this up, I know they'll blacklist me, and I'll never be part of any of the good groups. How could I say no? Dead frogs. Our biology class has graduated from fruit to frogs. We were scheduled to do the frog unit in April, but the frog company delivered our victims January 14th. Pickled frogs have a way of disappearing from the storage closet. So today, Miss Keene armed us with knives and told us not to gag. David Petrakis, my lab partner, is thrilled. Anatomy at last. There are lists to memorize. The hopping bones connected to the jumping bone, the ribbit bones connected to the fly-catching bone. He seriously talks about wearing one of those doctor masks over his face while we operate. I think he thinks it would be good practice. The room does not smell like apple. It smells like frog juice, a cross between a nursing home and potato salad. The back row pays attention. Cutting dead frogs is cool. Our frog lies on her back, waiting for a prince to come and princify her with a smooch. I stand over her with my knife. Miss Keene's voice fades to a mosquito whine. My throat closes off. It is hard to breathe. I put out my hand to steady myself against the table. David pins the froggy hands to the dissection tray. He spreads her froggy legs and pins her froggy feet. I have to slice open her belly. She doesn't say a word. She's already dead. A scream starts in my gut. I can feel the cut, smell the dirt, leaves in my hair. I don't remember passing out. David says I hit my head on the edge of the table on my way down. The nurse calls my mom because I need stitches. The doctor stares into the back of my eyes with a bright light. Can she read the thoughts hidden there? If she can, what will she do? Call the cops? Send me to the nut house? I want her to. I just want to sleep. The whole point of not talking about it, of silencing the memory, is to make it go away. It won't. I'll need brain surgery to cut it out of my head. Maybe I should wait until David Petrakis is a doctor. Let him do it.